Hello, thank you for taking this time for this interview. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Sofia and I study fourth year of nutrition at the University of Monterrey.
Cool. Okay, so now let's get started. So
Perfect.
obesity, what causes this disease?
Obesity is caused by a series of risk factors such as sedentary lifestyle, high caloric intake, and also high sugar intake, and also the ingest of high processed food and junk food.
Okay. So how serious is the disease and how does it affect the patient's current life?
The disease has a lot of consequences such as cardiovascular disease, a high risk of diabetes type 2, hormone disbalance, metabolic syndrome, etc. And it affects the patient's current lifestyle because it affects their quality of life. The patient cannot live as a normal person, as you could say, and they almost all the time compare them. Like, hey, why I can't do what my friend is doing? Well, hey, there's something you can do about that.
Yeah. Okay. How is the patient prognosis?
The patient prognosis always depends on the treatment he or he is giving, the follow-up of the treatment, because while the patient can go with the best nutrition, best doctor, etc., but if he does not follow the treatment, it serves by nothing. But yeah, it can go on till a cardiovascular disease, to diabetes, and all of their risks.
Okay. What was the patient's chief complaint?
Well, they almost all the time come because they're complaining of their quality of life. Most of the time, I don't breathe so good. I go up the stairs and I feel like I'm dying with hypertension or something. And also, most of the time, friends or family go with them like, hey, you need help or something, because they have like a distorted vision of themselves. They look out in the mirror and say, hey, okay, I know I'm fat, but I'm not that fat. I don't need that much help. And maybe they do.
What are symptoms does the patient have?
Well, they're always weak, they are always like stressed, they have a low self-esteem. As I already said before, they have a different vision of their body because, well, they don't think they're as fat or need as much. And if you want to go well with clinical and anthropometric, there are a body mass index above 30 cubic centimeters.
How was the patient tested for the disease and what did those tests show?
The principal test to diagnose obesity is the percentage of body fat and the body mass index that we said before, that should be above 30.
Okay. What treatment did the patient receive and how effective it was?
Well, the treatment of the patient is principally of three things. It's changes in lifestyle, changes in diet. Changes in lifestyle can include exercise, but also like moderately, also if the patient has some addiction, to treat it. And also meds, depending on the patient, meds can be required because most of the time, that they're still eating but I'm not hungry, it's an hormonal disbalance.
Like anxiety?
Anxiety, yeah.
What will happen to the patient if he didn't receive the treatment?
Well, that's what we said before in the prognosis, that he would have cardiovascular disease, he would have diabetes, he could have metabolic syndrome, he could have changes in hormones, and most of them, it's like that disease, but it's not only the disease, but the risk of that disease. If you have diabetes, you can have low circulation. If you have cardiovascular, you have hypertension, and etc.
Okay. What are new technologies now exist for preventing, diagnosing, or treating this disease?
New technologies is a new technology called bioimpedance analysis, bioelectrical. It's like a weight that you go in and it tells you a lot of other data that you could take. You could also take it, but it's less exact and it will take you hours with formulas. And also there's also always with the gym, you know how many calories are you burning, how many calories do you need to ingest. And also maybe it's not that much of a technology, but there are also the apps that you can go and, I don't know, I ate one hamburger and imagine one McDonald's hamburger has 600 calories. So now that they go into the app and put it 600 calories and then they can see if you want to burn 600 calories, it's like 3 hours running. So they now see like, hey, those 600 calories are not worth 3 hours of running.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Nah.